Hi everyone, welcome to our IIBA Melbourne chapter webinar. Today we will be discussing on the topic AI and emotional intelligence in business analysis. Our agenda for this webinar is introduction of our host, upcoming IIBA Melbourne, IIBA events, introduction of guest speakers, question and answers towards the end. Acknowledgement of country. IIBA Australia acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters, and culture. We pay our respect to elders past, present, and emerging, and extend our respects to all Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islander people present with us today. Our host for today is one of my colleagues, Manju Chaudhary, who is IIBA Melbourne Events Lead, and myself, Hazra Ali. I'm the IIBA Melbourne Event Squad Lead. You can connect with us on LinkedIn using our QR code. One of the upcoming events for IIBA is the study group, where business analysts have the opportunity to gain knowledge of BABOK and also complete their certifications. This will take place on the 7th of May till the 23rd of July 2025. If you're interested to take part in the study group, you can put in through your expression of interest as a student or a facilitator. One of the most important events that IIBA runs is called FOBA, which is Festival of Business Analysis. This will be held from the 13th till the 24th of October, focusing on the Melbourne chapter, which will be on the 23rd of October 2025. The theme for FOBA is Rethink, Reconnect, and Revolutionize. What to expect in FOBA? You can connect with industry peers, workshop practical solutions, explore bold ideas, full day of impactful solutions and sessions, and separate online program. You can register and get the early bird tickets. Register before the 31st of July 2025. You can present at FOBA, share your story with us. You can partner with IIBA and showcase your brand and be part of the engaging discussion and influential community. IIBA also holds awards program. You can nominate a star business analyst who has contributed a lot to the community. You can apply to become a judge and as well as sponsor the awards. IIBA also holds mentoring program. This is an ongoing program, and for Melbourne chapter, this has begun from the 7th of April till the 10th of October. We're also looking for volunteers. If you want to contribute back to the community, please submit your expression of interest. Now I will introduce our two guest speakers. Our first speaker is Maria Montgomery. So she is a business analyst lead consultant at the Essential Services Commission. She has over 30 years of experience in delivering large scale of business transformation programs. Maria has witnessed firsthand the evolving role of business analysts in navigating complex projects. As a strategic business leader, coach, trainer, and international speaker, Maria has helped organizations leverage AI tools and emotional intelligence to improve collaboration, streamline workflows, and achieve exceptional outcomes. She has recently spoke in Tokyo about the critical roles of BAs in driving business success while exploring how AI is being understood and adopted in Japan. Additionally, in 2024 IIBA Software and FOBA conference in Melbourne, Maria presented Crafting Your Roadmap for BA Success, leveraging AI in business analysis, providing insights into how AI can support BAs in their daily tasks. Our second guest speaker is Raj Jonnalagedda. He is a group manager at the Avenade Advisory and Experiences. He has 22 years of experience in IT and software industry. Raj is versatile and accomplished business analyst and a delivery lead. Based out of Canberra, Raj specializes in delivering complex Microsoft Azure Dynamic 365 platform and Microsoft 365 Copilot-based solutions. Raj has presented at prominent global conferences, including the 2024 SoftEd, IIBA FOBA, and IIBA Global Business Analysis Day, where his presentation on a day in the life of an AI-enabled business analyst has highly acclaimed. Raj champions the practical applications of AI and business analysis through his Hey Baby series on LinkedIn, providing valuable insights and actionable series and strategies for business analysis professionals. Now I will hand over to Maria, who will speak on the topic of AI and emotional intelligence and how this affects decision making. Thank you.
Thank you, Esmeralda, and welcome everybody. Bear with me, we did have a few technical issues for those that you might have joined a little bit early and heard us talking. So I'm hoping you can actually see my screen. Can you see my screen? Give me a yell. You can?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Fantastic. It's actually working as expected. Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm truly excited to have you here today. And I'm hoping this session isn't just about technology, it's about you, your potential, and how you can thrive in a challenging world. We're going to explore the powerful fusion of artificial intelligence, emotional intelligence, and how together they can elevate your decision making, transform your collaboration, and also drive meaningful business outcomes. As businesses, you can see, are currently adopting to AI or have adopted, a lot of them have so far. It is all about streamlining processes and also the role of business analysts and professionals like yourself who are still evolving, including myself. AI can automate, analyze, or even suggest, but it cannot empathize, connect, or build trust that us as human have. That is where you would find emotional intelligence comes in, your ability to influence, build those healthy relationships, and also navigate complexity, which is your superpower as a BA. And that is what makes us exceptional today. By the end of this session, my goal is for you to walk away feeling totally empowered by what's possible with AI, inspired to lead with heart and insights, and also with confidence in your irreplaceable human value in the age of this intelligent system. As you can see on the screen, this is a quick highlight, and I'm calling it part one because as Hazra mentioned before, part one is my session, and then I'll pass it over to Raj, who will take you through lots of interesting demos to support what I'm covering. But before we begin, I like to take the opportunity to have a bit of an icebreaker. And we'll do our best to manage these through our chat because we do have a large number of audience that have joined us today, and we really appreciate it. But what I'd like you to do before we dive in, I want you to take you a step back in time. Have a quick trip down memory lane and think about what was your first job and write down one thing you learned from that job. I'll allow a couple of minutes because I do understand we have a lot to get through. This is when we need to start dancing and having some music on. Okay, I will continue only in the interest of the time. So hopefully you had enough time to kind of just think about that one job. So what I'd love to hear now is a few of your responses to this question. What lessons did your first job teach you? Maybe it was teamwork, collaboration, resilience, or learning how to adapt. I'd like to invite you, if you can share in a chat, or if you put your hand up, if you like to share a story, that's even better. We'll allow a couple of minutes, but what I'd like to see if you can share your story and help us understand how you build that connection and what you've learned from that first job. Do we have any volunteers? Azram, I need your help because I can't see the chat.
I don't see a hand up, but I see lots of messages.
Lots of messages. Maybe we can read a few. If you can read out a few of them, that would be really good.
Sure. I can see Francisco has a hand up. Francisco, would you like to share your story?
Oh, awesome. Love to hear it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, really quickly, because there's so many people out there too. My first job was as a systems software engineer with BHP at the Whale. It still works. And like I said, I just graduated after my last exam, so I was really new. Basically, I had to learn how to communicate with IT professionals, that's software developers, and steel workers in the soaking pits, which are giant concrete pits where they would put ingots in and heat them up to be put on rollers and blew into long steel structures. So I had to learn how to talk to them, be straight with them, and to be really just straight. And that was one of the most challenging things. So basically, it was just a learning process. As far as having any directions from my supervisors, no, not really. Some people understood what it was all about. Others thought I was just a guy with a pie, and they didn't want to. So it was it's a learning by experience and rolling with the punches at times, literally. Yeah, that's about it.
Wow. I always wanted to work for BHP. I managed to do all the finance sector. I'm in energy area now, and but unfortunately, I don't think there's many BHP jobs in Melbourne. I'm from Melbourne. That's fantastic. Sounds really good. Does anybody else want to share?
I can see Harsha saying research assistant, laboratory techniques and organizational skills for him. Stefan, he's saying pizza delivery, the importance of cleaning. I really like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Tina, learn to swim instructor, communication. That's what she. Puna, business analyst, BA should be a continuous learner. Shop assistants in a milk bar, customer service.
That's it.
We have
quite a few people here.
Yeah, lots of responses. Amazing responses, though.
It's really awesome. We might have to dive in. And I think what is really good, or what I'm hearing a lot, is that communication, collaboration, organizational skills. And as AI is transforming the way we work, but thinking about what you've learned your first job that AI never could. And I'll tell you my story. I can't help myself. It's probably not as very interesting stories that you guys have. I took myself back when I was 16 years of age, and I worked as a call it a deli chick. For those of you that maybe not in Australia, it is a person that works in the deli department at Coles, which is our big supermarket chain. And on the surface, it might seem like the job had nothing to do with business analysis or AI for that matter. But what it taught me, some of the foundational issues that I'm still learning today. Every day in that job, I recall that I had to understand what the customers really needed. Not just what they asked for, I had to listen to them closely, look at their body language, adapt quickly, and deliver high quality. And one of the biggest jobs that I always remember and always struggle to get it right, it's actually slicing that ham perfectly to their satisfaction. And to solve that problem that required, it wasn't about for me following the process, it's actually thinking, feeling, and responding in a moment. And that is where AI gets tied into your feelings and thinking. And today, AI can assist with data, with speeding up our task, even often providing insights, but it can't replace that human ability to truly understand a need before it's fully expressed. It can't have a feeling like and understand that customer tone. Sometimes very friendly customers, sometimes very unfriendly customers that are in a rush. But it's all about the empathy. And that's where, to me, human emotional intelligence comes to our human side of analysis. And what I learned as a deli counter is that I needed to anticipate needs, improve processes, and also create that positive experience. And this is where business analysts actually bridge AI with our business value today. Because no matter how smart AI becomes, it still needs us. It needs human insights, empathy, and ability to solve complex outcomes. Okay. I'll stay away from activities because in the interest of the time. What I'd like to share with you is that we are at the point where AI is no longer just a buzzword. It's becoming more of a core element of many business strategies. And according to recent research, by 2025, 80% of companies are actually expected to be using AI to some capacity. So this includes from automating customer service, optimizing supplier chains, and also to drive that product innovation. So what does that actually mean for you as a business analyst? It's crucial that you not only understand how AI optimize those business processes, but also how you can contribute to use your own human skills to drive that positive change along AI. And while AI tools are a crucial part of the future, they still need our human guidance. This is where emotional intelligence comes in. As business analysts, we are the ones who bridge the gap between technology and human needs, and also ensuring that AI delivers the right solution to the real problems, those right problems. And I did capture this data, if anybody is interested, through my research. There was a McKinsey company report that they came up with the data, as well as PwC. So AI in business analysis. As AI is revolutionizing, and the way we need to approach it as business analysts is that not only does AI offer automation optimization, it still has got lots of human elements and this emotional intelligence. So AI can actually process large amounts of data very quickly, and it can create productive models and also help BAs identify trends. However, application of this AI alone, it isn't enough to achieve the best outcomes. This is where AIs, business analysts, will have that strong emotional intelligence as an added value. And remembering, you as a business analyst, one of our core skill sets, or as an exceptional BA, you will be constantly ensuring that you are the requirements that we're capturing, we are capturing them and ensuring that we are meeting those stakeholders' of value and needs. So, for example, AI tool can analyze stakeholder feedback and suggest user story improvements. But it takes human insights that that rooted control of emotional intelligence, which you truly need to understand, and to understand the context that sits behind those needs. So AI role in business analysis is rapidly expanding. It is offering a lot of tools and streamlining of operations, automating tasks, and also extracting those meaningful insights from the data. So this means that decision making can be more accurate, faster. And this is where Raj will shortly come into the picture as well. Well, he'll be sharing specifically BA tools in creating different models using potentially Jira and lessons learned to help us resource allocation, and how we can also improve our efficiency in writing user story. So watch this space. There'll be lots of fun stuff coming from Raj shortly. So emotional intelligence in action. While AI provides us with tools, emotional intelligence is the key to making sure that those tools are effectively applied. It really helps that you as a business analyst engage with stakeholders, and that you manage the resistance, especially when it comes to change or resolve those conflicts. And we all know as business analysts, no matter what project we come on, we are managing quite often conflicts. I've had to manage with conflicts today personally myself. It's some of the external stakeholders that I've been dealing with on my project that want to change. So we are constantly going to be faced with that core skill set that we have as business analysts. AI allow us to navigate the human dynamics of projects. And I'd like you to think about, what are the underlying feelings or concerns about AI? How would you approach and communicate with your stakeholders to ensure that trust and collaboration happens? So the key words where I see our emotional intelligence in action is around the empathy, collaboration, and stakeholder engagement. Sounds like your core skill sets as a business analyst. And now what I like to do is share a little bit my story and my experience in this space. Back in April 2020, I got engaged by a partner for a company called Wild Mouse. And the partner who's running the company, somebody I worked with in the past, and has decided to open up a small company. And the key focus of Wildmouse company was to customize Microsoft products. And they had introduction of this AI that they built called Unearth, which focused on more middle to health sector at that point in time as their customer base. And the idea at that time was for this tool to be trained to learn images and use that to assist in decision making. So anyway, so I got engaged as a business analyst on this project called, and the company was, the client was the dairy food safety farmers, and they needed a solution to automate the compliance process to dairy farmers while also ensuring regulation standards were met. So farmers were required to submit images of their facilities, for example, their dairy farms, to make sure that the regulators were verifying cleanliness, light conditions, and also that they are following safety regulations. However, the biggest pain point was this was a very manual process and slow, and in addition to that, that in order for the farmers to continue and have their licenses, this activity needed to happen quite quickly because otherwise that wouldn't that licensing wouldn't be renewed. So when I collaborated with the department, the Dairy Food Safety Department, our key focus was on efficiency, clearly focusing on automating compliance checks for quick approvals, accuracy, ensuring that AI drives analysis by ensuring there's regulation standards and that they are met, and also integration, ensuring that there's a seamless connection with existing agricultural systems. We also needed to focus obviously on customer service, which is a key component, customers being dairy farmers, decision making, and also those technology integration. So following from that, I needed to come up with an approach. And funny enough, as you can see, these key elements in the approach that I had undertaken, most of you'll be familiar with. It's a regular activity that we perform as business analysts. So I engage with the stakeholders to define clear objectives and challenges and AI capabilities. And fun enough, my first and biggest action has always been to look at the process maps, because I'm a big fan. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I'm a big fan of process maps and understanding current state. Now, this project to me was very interesting because I haven't worked with AI. I actually at that point didn't really understand how the whole AI worked. And I facilitated a workshop to understand the process mapping workshop. And at that workshop, by the partners, I was requested to have one of the other partners, directors. He also used to be a programmer, and he actually, because it's a small company, would dive in and do his techie stuff. And it was very challenging to keep him to the side and not talking very technical words of what the tool was providing in order to make some sense and engage with the stakeholders so I could understand that current state process maps. So I remember having big boards and trying to draw a process map, whereas the partner, who's the director of the company, was really deep diving and getting straight into the solution. So from the process mapping, I did current state to the future state, but I needed to understand how this will work in this AI-driven compliance workflows. I looked at the gap analysis where I identified efficiencies and what were those automation opportunities. I look at requirements gathering and how I could capture that functional regulation requirements, particularly for that AI integration. I looked at validation and integration, ensuring that I test outputs, that I gather feedback, and that refine those system rules as well. And challenges. So the key, as you can see, and it always is stakeholder adoptions. There's always that resistance of AI, particularly thinking about we're dealing with regulators and farmers due to the trust, usability, and what, you know, their concerns are. Image qualities, identifying how those farmers' photos are varied, particularly with the light clarity, ensuring that, you know, that they met the right standards. Not forgetting regulation is very complex in that space. Thinking about AI decision transparency, explaining how AI-based approvals and regulation to ensure there is also fairness, and not forgetting data security and privacy, particularly because this area at the time and still is quite new, particularly in, you know, in the health industry, and at that time thinking, well, how secure is a transmission of these images? And I remember sitting in the office at the dairy farmer one day, and I needed to analyze and define requirements for all these images. And I've never in my life, coming from a finance sector, I've seen that many cow images, how the cows were milked, where the light needed to, because it needed to be perfect. So we need to identify what is that perfect image, how much lights. Yeah, so that was an interesting experience, understanding what that regulation means. But it taught me a lot. I've learned so much that of what AI can do and how it can actually learn and understand and help in those decision-making processes. And I do still drink milk after all those exposures that I had on the farm as well. So from a solution perspective, AI power solutions are transforming the way we approach as business analysts, and you are probably approaching that at this point in time. It is enabling us to have faster decision making, enhancing that data processing, and also allowing us to make smarter predictive models. By integrating and leveraging AI, businesses can unlock so many new potentials, so they can drive that innovation and achieve operational efficiencies. Look at that. We managed to get dairy farmers to be taking photos and be more efficient. It took a while to get those images right, but hey, they've just realized how quickly their applications were getting processed. The other thing that we came up with was key solutions and enhancements. So by focusing on those key solutions and how we can enhance, we ensure that we address those critical challenges and improve those business outcomes. Whether through process automation, we definitely did that through process automation, was a faster decision-making process and ability, I guess, at hand, particularly, for example, those farmers to spit out those images, for them not to upload that they weren't quite correct or they weren't meeting the standards, to those advanced analytics and reporting for the regulators. And it also helped with decision-making as well, and thinking about how that increased that competitive landscape going forward. We optimize compliance with AI. This brought us to a new level of precision and also efficiency, particular with regulators that we needed to adhere to. An example of that is what we looked into, also integration, and obviously with AI solution, there's so much information on internet, on Google. We were able to capture and that additional information the regulators could see what's happening, for example, across the world, mad cow disease. What are the things that you need to capture in that space? There's a lot of stuff that allowed these regulators to be kept up to date. That was a lot going on with meat export and input. I've learned a lot on that, but that's another story. So AI can automate compliance checks, monitor changes, particularly in regulations. But what it really added huge value, that it provided those real-time insights. It was ensuring that that specific business farm remained compliant, and there was no risk, particularly to the human error, particularly in the dairy farming section as well. Regulators are now able to act faster and, in instances, intervene where they need to ensure the regulations apply. Okay, whoops, apologies. So how did business role evolve? As you can see with all these 3 key dot points, I follow the same process. The outcome of a business analyst role is still bridging the gap between business and technology, translating those regulations into AI requirements is one of the things that I had to do. Translating those very techie owner of Wild Mouse, the company that I work for, and trying to put him on a side or talking too much to the stakeholders that are trying to get familiar of the AI was my key role. Stakeholder communication, ensuring that you as a business analyst can align AI capabilities with regulatory standards and needs. Defining acceptance criteria. I ensured that AI outputs were meeting compliance standards. Data and compliance validation, verifying AI accuracy before we actually deploy a solution. And also change management, we can't forget that. We need to make sure that we train user and that we refine those AI rules even post-launch. So as you can see, all of these are current BA skills or approaches our role that we do as business analysts. And as an outcome, one of the key outcomes of this project was the efficiencies. We ended up reducing by initial review about 70% of the time, particular review and check time, which allowed regulators to focus on more complex cases. Compliance, farmers received that instant feedback on their submissions, which improved their processes and standards and made them feel less stressed when it came to renewing their licenses. Trust and adoption by incorporating that emotional intelligence into the designs. For example, looking at how, particularly with the images and the standards, what they need, how they needed to design their farms and having the right, for example, lighting. All of that helped our stakeholders because they felt we heard them. And this was leading to much smoother AI adoption and improvement of regulatory oversights as well. And I like to highlight some of our industry leaders currently in action. I could not go past our favorite, well, my kids' favorite tool, Snapchat. My kids are in their 20s and apparently, yeah, not just the kids, I must say that. But Snapchat has recognized emotional intelligence by engaging through design, which also provides the authentic connection amongst different users. Studies do indicate that this platform provides stronger and deeper emotions compared to the other social media apps, highlighting the impact of emotional design in technology. So let's get on to Snapchat. Can't go without Meta AI with emotional awareness. So Meta AI is investing in developing AI that can currently understand, interpret, and respond to human emotions, especially through those language models, avatars, virtual interactions. They're also exploring how this is affecting computing, teaching machines how to detect emotional cues from facial expression, voice, and text. Quite tricky, isn't it? And we do have others, obviously Google that is investing in a lot of initiative as well, like Emotilog AI, which is developed as part of Google Gemini API developer competition. So this is another journal-assisted tool that's providing the real-time emotional analysis and feedback. And obviously Amazon's always there somewhere in the picture, and they are also investing in natural language understanding and developing emotional intelligence, for example, AI for Alexa, to enable the deeper user connection. And I'm sure there's more. I'm sure you're coming across more, and I'm sure Raj will be taking you to a very interesting demo shortly and put this into practice. Probably not Snapchat, Raj, yeah? So what does this mean for future-proofing your BA career with AI? You need to embrace AI as a tool, not a threat. Have I had, because when I started this project that I've just taken you through, and at that time I didn't know much, I was really anxious. I pretended as I normally do. Yeah, I can do all this. However, there wasn't that much information about it. Have I had these, tools or ability to step in and learn more? Activities such as Raj and what he provides to be a community, I would be feeling less stressed and probably more enjoying the AI. But I must admit, I was really threatened by it because it was new. And I was even threatened by it. How am I going to do business analysis job? So combining AI with emotional intelligence, you can stay ahead, you can add value and lead the future of business analysis. And AI is continuing to change, and there'll be lots of uplift like every other technology that we had so far. But from a business analyst angle, it can automate our tasks, offering those predictive insights. It can enable much faster decision making. So you need to embrace AI, upskill with AI technology. Get yourself certified in AI if you can, and get onto those discussion groups, get a mentorship, stay ahead, which I'm doing myself personally. Emotional intelligence is another crucial part, and you would be well aware that this is one of the core skill sets of business analysts. But emotional intelligence allows you to connect with stakeholders on the deeper level. So continue learning on those skill sets. Continue to embrace your communication, empathy, and leadership skills which are essential for your long-term career growth. Don't forget those. And lastly, it's around evolution. The future of business lies in a fusion between AI and EI. So as AI hands-on handles your data-driven tasks, EI becomes more valuable for understanding people, leading teams, and also making those strategic decisions. So to future-proof your career, it is essential to stay ahead, adapt, continue learning, and blend that technology with emotional intelligence in order to thrive in an ever-changing world. And I'm conscious of the time, so my last couple slides are reflection. I'd like you to take a moment. I know there's a lot that has been covered today, but these are the key topics that I have covered in this session. I'd like you to quickly reflect on them, maybe even on that story around your first job or one of those jobs, and how you can now think about it in the light of AI. And encourage you to write down at least 3 key takeaways that you'll be applying in your workplace. I'll wait for a couple of seconds and then I'll share a couple of slides and then I'll pass it over to Raj. Okay, I think that was a couple of seconds. What I do have, as most of you may or may not be aware, I do run a coaching and mentoring career development session. So as part of my excitement with AI, I do have a special offer at the moment, $100 off in my career development. So if you scan this code, or even if you jump on my website and use the voucher code BA100, you'll receive $100 of any of my career development services that I provide. So I'll wait for a couple of seconds for you to have this and have that ability to scan. Okay, and next one where you can find me if you haven't found me already, and I'm sure most of you have. I'm super excited. I have recently launched a YouTube channel where I'll be sharing stories and ideas and keep in loop what's going on in BS space, particularly in career development. And stay in touch. I'm also on IIBA Career Centre as well. And with due respect, I would love to welcome wonderful Raj with his exciting AI experience that you're going to have and wonderful demos.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I must admit that I'm a bit disappointed that AI was not available to me earlier, like years ago. Think about it, how many projects have we seen struggle or even fail because requirements were not managed well? How much time and energy have you all spent trying to handle ambiguous requests, manage endless changes, and navigate those turbulent times? I've certainly had my share of those battles, and I can't help but wonder, what if we had a powerful and reliable assistant to help us navigate those storms? Well, the good news is that AI is here and is transforming the way we approach business analysis, offering us tools to navigate the complexities of requirements with greater confidence and control. And I want to show you how AI can do this for us. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. I'm Jonnalagedda. I'm dialing in from Canberra. I have a background in business analysis, solution architecture, and project delivery. I'm a BA, enabled by the power of AI. Enabled by the power of responsible AI, I must say. I believe that AI is not here to replace us, but to amplify our abilities, to help us be more effective, more empathetic, and more human in our work. And today, we'll explore hands-on AI techniques that you can use to transform your requirement management processes. For today's demos, I'll be showcasing most of my examples in M365 Copilot. But if you refer to my IIBA articles, I've also showcased examples using Google Gemini. But before we get too carried away with all the cool things AI can do, let's remember what truly makes a great business analyst. Most of these points were already mentioned by Maria, but I'll just mention them just to connect to the context and re-emphasize on those things. It's not just about crunching data or automating tasks, right? It's about that human connection, that ability to understand and navigate the complex world of human emotions. And that's where EI, the emotional intelligence, comes into play. Even as AI becomes a more powerful assistant, EI remains absolutely critical. Think about it. AI can process information, but it cannot truly understand the nuances of stakeholder frustration, the unspoken needs behind a request, or the delicate art of building trust. And that's where we as business analysts come in. Our empathy allows us to connect with stakeholders on a human level. And our communication skills enable us to articulate complex ideas clearly. And our social awareness helps us navigate group dynamics and build consensus. So think of it this way: AI assists while EI guides. AI assists with the technical stuff, but EI, the emotional intelligence, guides the process, ensuring we are not just building the right thing, but we are building it in the right way with the right relationships. So we understand that requirements are challenging and that EI is crucial. Now let's talk about how AI steps in as our incredibly powerful assistant. Because AI isn't just a futuristic fantasy, it's already here and is actively reshaping how we as business analysts work today. And in this session, I want to show you how AI empowers us to be even better at our jobs. We'll explore practical hands-on AI techniques that you can start using right now. And remember, you are the pilot and AI is your assistant. Think of it as getting to know your new super efficient personal assistant. And for each technique that we go through in this session, we'll focus not just on the how, but also on the impact it has on your EI. Because technology is only as good as the human connection that guides it. Today, I would like to introduce to you my voice or assistant, Zoe. You might have heard Zoe during my last talk in Sydney on the topic, the day in the life of a AI-enabled BA. Zoe will assist me in presenting some of my slides. And to start with, Zoe will introduce us to the concept of EI.
Thanks, Raj. Sure. What is emotional intelligence? As per the sources shown on this slide, emotional intelligence, EI, is the ability to see, use, understand, and control emotions. People with high EI can identify their feelings and those of others, use emotions to guide their thoughts and actions, distinguish between different emotions and name them correctly, and adjust their emotions based on their surroundings.
Thanks, Zoe. Now, let's take a quick detour and look at some fascinating facts that highlight the growing importance of both AI and EI and how they are starting to intertwine. First off, do you know that just last year, 72% of organizations integrated AI into at least one business function? And the global emotion AI market, that's AI that can actually sense and respond to human emotions, is projected to explode. As per the sources that I've quoted there on the slide, we are talking a market reaching a staggering US dollar 9.01 billion by 2030. That tells you how much emphasis businesses are placing on understanding and leveraging emotions. And here's another one that really drives home the value of EI. As per the sources I have listed there, people with high emotional intelligence actually earn significantly more, about $29,000 more per year than those with lower EI. That's a huge difference. It shows that EI isn't just a nice to have. It's a key driver of professional success. EI is also a game changer when it comes to leadership. Studies show it predicts a whopping 67% of a leader's effectiveness. Think about that. The ability to inspire, motivate, and connect with people is far more important than just technical skills. And finally, let's not forget how AI is starting to see and hear our emotions. AI can now analyze facial expressions, the tone of our voice, even the text we write to detect our emotional state. And AI-driven tools can provide insights into personal emotional patterns and train empathy through simulations. And as AI takes on more technical tasks, emotional intelligence is becoming a key differentiator for human roles. And all this is opening up some incredible possibilities. All right, so we have set the stage. We know requirements are tough, EI is essential, and AI is here to help. And in this next section, let's get hands-on. Let's talk about AI techniques that you can start using right away to make your work more efficient, more effective, and yes, even more emotionally intelligent. Let's dive into our first hands-on technique, requirements elicitation and documentation. Now, this is a game changer for the core BA activity. Think about how we traditionally gather requirements. We are attending meetings, we are sifting through meeting notes, listening to recordings, poring over documents, and reviewing, fixing our drafts until sign-off. And sometimes this loop never ends. It's time-consuming, tedious, and let's face it, it's easy to miss something crucial. And this is when AI, particularly with natural language processing or NLP, is here to assist. Imagine this, instead of spending hours transcribing and analyzing stakeholder meeting, AI can do it for you, automatically extracting a list of potential requirements. Or AI can pass through lengthy business plans and system spec, identifying, categorizing the core requirements, both functional and non-functional. Let me ask Zoe how AI assisted me in this activity.
Sure. Let me show you how AI assists Raj in extracting and drafting detailed requirements from a couple of reference documents. Here, on this slide, as you can see, Raj references simulated workshop meeting notes and a system specification document, and prompts Copilot to extract detailed functional and non-functional requirements from the documents, using the SMART requirements principles. The prompt uses a create formula or a create technique. For your information, you can use the create formula in an AI prompt to clarify purpose, request format, establish context, articulate tone, target audience, and evaluate the output. For more details on this prompt, please speak with Raj after the session. Raj then asks Copilot to respond in a table format with columns, ID, type, source, original statement from the source, and a detailed requirement description. And there you go! Copilot generates a table of functional and non-functional requirements from the documents. Raj then reviews the AI-generated requirements thoroughly before he shares them with other team members. Isn't that cool? It's like having a super efficient research assistant that never gets tired.
Yes, that's super cool. And the impact on your EI, it's huge. AI takes away those repetitive administrative tasks that often lead to stress and burnout. It also ensures greater accuracy, reducing the risk of errors and the need for frustrating rework. This frees you up to spend more time on what really matters, engaging with your stakeholders, understanding their needs, building those crucial relationships, and having greater confidence in the thoroughness and accuracy of your work. It's about empowering you to be a more effective and emotionally intelligent BA. But always remember to thoroughly review AI-generated requirements before sharing them with your team. Check the requirements for your scope, stakeholder needs, and ensure they align with what the stakeholders have mentioned in the meetings. AI might have made errors, and if you don't review, you might miss important points. Azra, can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's shift our focus to another critical area, ensuring the quality of our requirements. We all know that ambiguous, inconsistent, or incomplete requirements can lead to major headaches down the line. It's like building a house on a shaky foundation. It's just asking for trouble. Thankfully, AI powered by machine learning and NLP, natural language processing, is here to help us build a solid foundation. Imagine AI acting as your magical editor, meticulously scrutinizing your requirements, flagging any vague language that could lead to misinterpretations, and detecting conflicting requirements that could cause problems later on. It can even suggest clearer and more concise phrasing to make your requirements crystal clear. Zoe will show how AI assisted me in this activity.
Sure. Given this example,
Raj, looks like the audio is gone.
Yeah, was there meant to be any audio?
Yes, sorry, can't we hear audio?
No,
That's-
was it meant to be anything in the background, or is it we can just see the screens?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I got it down. My screen suddenly changed and I don't see the share other buttons anymore.
Sorry, I'll just try to check that again. Yep, it's enabled now. Can you try, Raj?
Try the sound or just screen share again? Should I just stop
Yeah.
stop share and
Yes, let's try that.
okay, sharing again. Share sound. Okay, let's try again.
Yep.
Okay, this is where we were.
Sure. Here in this example, Raj
Okay.
demonstrates 3 different instances where Copilot can assist in rewriting your document content. You can adjust Copilot's response by different tones and styles. You can even apply custom instructions, such as keeping your tone and style while fixing any grammar or punctuation issues. In the first example, Raj notices some ambiguous text while reviewing a draft specification. He selects a paragraph within the draft and uses the Copilot option to auto-rewrite the selected text. Copilot does an amazing job and even offers 3 variations of the corrected text. In the second example, Raj selects another paragraph in the draft and prompts Copilot to suggest clearer phrasing in a professional tone. And see, Copilot works its magic. The third example is Raj's favorite. Raj prompts Copilot to identify any conflicting requirements in the document. And see how Copilot identifies conflicting requirements with references to each. Isn't that impressive?
Yes, in the particular last example, if you notice, there's a page where it mentions that a particular browser is supported, but it's a lengthy document, and in another page it says it's not supported. It's easy to miss this, but you could ask Copilot or AI to detect conflicting requirements. It comes back in a second. So the other example is where one page says a particular feature or functionality is required, but in another page it says it's not required, and it's easy to miss this. Right? Okay. So and so yes, the impact on your emotional intelligence is significant. By delivering high quality and more accurate requirements, you'll naturally feel more confident in your work. You'll also avoid the frustration and stress of dealing with rework and misunderstandings. And when you present clear, consistent requirements to your stakeholders, you'll enhance your credibility and foster greater trust. Plus, the process of working with these AI tools can actually help you develop and refine your own analytical skills, making you an even more effective BA. So always remember, review your AI generated rewrites and drafts thoroughly before you share them with the rest of your team and releasing them for a wider review. Now let's explore how AI can be our powerful ally when it comes to impact analysis and traceability. Think about the complexity of modern projects. Requirements are not isolated. They are interconnected like a giant web. And when a change comes along, as it inevitably will, it's crucial to understand the downstream effects. And traditionally, this has been a huge challenge. We are manually tracing links between requirements, design documents, test cases, acceptance criteria, and code. And we all know it's time consuming, it's error prone, and it's easy to miss something critical. But AI can automate this process, creating and maintaining those traceability links for us. Imagine AI as your intelligent map, instantly showing you how a change to one requirement ripples across the entire project. For example, if a requirement is modified, AI can quickly point all the affected test cases, telling you exactly which tests need to be reviewed or updated. Or it can visualize the impact of that change on a related design component, making it crystal clear what needs to be adjusted. Now let's again ask Zoe to show us how AI assisted me with this.
Sure. In this requirements traceability example, Raj references current business, functional, and non-functional requirements along with test cases. He then prompts Copilot to generate a requirements traceability matrix and identify any relevant attributes for mapping traceability between the requirements and test cases. Copilot promptly generates the matrix for the referenced requirements and test cases. Raj then asks Copilot to identify business requirements that do not map to functional requirements and test cases that do not map to the requirements up in the hierarchy, highlighting unmapped items as potential traceability gaps. Copilot identifies these gaps in seconds. Raj further asks Copilot to present these unmapped items in a table format. He reviews these gaps thoroughly and refines the mapping before discussing the gaps with his team. Raj notes that this task used to take him days to go through numerous sheets of requirements and test cases to confidently identify gaps and address them.
Yes, I remember those days were really stressful. There were hundreds of requirements and thousands of test cases. And AI assisting you with these traceability processes has a profound impact on your EI. It enhances your communication with stakeholders, allowing you to clearly visualize and explain the impact of changes. It also significantly reduces the stress associated with managing those complex dependencies, giving you a much better grasp of the project landscape. Ultimately, it empowers you to make more informed decisions, provide more effective recommendations, and work more efficiently with fewer errors. Always remember to review AI-generated content for accuracy. Use AI safely, ethically, and responsibly. So let's bring it all together. The tables here list some of the key BA techniques as an example prompt and how these AI-powered techniques directly impact your EI. In the stakeholder analysis example, a BA can utilize the starter prompt by referencing stakeholder workshop or meeting transcription and ask AI to analyze stakeholder comms. This is a classic example of how AI can assist in enhancing social awareness of a BA by providing data-driven insights into stakeholder emotions and probably potential conflicts. And this frees up the BA to focus on building relationships and addressing concerns empathetically. By the way, these are just starter prompts. Once you start with the prompt, you can actually reiterate on them. So have a continuous conversation with the AI chatbot and then consolidate the output, review the output, and then share it with the team. That's the workflow you operate with as the AI-enabled BA. So the next technique, we have already seen this requirements gathering example earlier. And this is an example of process modeling where AI can help improve a process by analyzing system logs to identify steps that may cause customer frustration due to long lead times or high error rates. What AI does is called sentiment analysis. By automating these tedious tasks, AI isn't just making you more efficient, it's reducing your stress. It frees up to focus on those crucial stakeholder interactions and ultimately giving you greater confidence. And here is an example of data analysis. This is just a starting point though. You'll need to expand and refine it to meet your specific requirements and achieve the desired results. And here's the use case analysis example. And here's an example of a user story technique where the AI prompt is designed to generate user stories based on the frustrations or concerns of new users who might feel overwhelmed with new platform that's being introduced. Using AI in this way fosters empathy by focusing on the emotional states of users. In essence, these AI tools are not just about automating tasks. They're about empowering you to be a more emotionally intelligent and effective BA. I look forward to continuing this conversation. Connect with me on LinkedIn, check out my HeyBA series of articles. All the example prompts I've shown are already published in my HeyBA articles. These are articles that deep dive into AI scenarios and techniques specially tailored for BAs. I've shared all those prompts there, and the articles are available on Medium as well. So stay in touch if you want to chat more. And thank you.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Maria. Everyone, feel free to use the Q&A or the chat section to ask your questions. Herman is asking Raj, where will the prompts be shared?
Yeah. So if you see my LinkedIn posts, they're there in my IIBA articles. The ones that were posted in Feb and March cover all the three aspects: the requirements elicitation. There's also one for requirements prioritization and one for traceability. There are also articles on data analysis, and all the example prompts that I showed today, I'll get them into a new article either this or next week.
We have a question from Patricia. How to manage security using AI? Sensitive data of the company and client.
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yep. So Patricia is asking how to manage security using AI.
Security using AI. Okay. So the starting point is always training on responsible AI, because every user need to be aware of what to share and what not to share, what are the approved tools and what tools you could use in the company, and what's responsible AI, and what are the boundaries. First of all, the technical boundaries. So where's the data that you have uploaded is going. Then who can see it, who cannot, understanding those boundaries, and then conforming them with your AI champions and getting a better understanding of what you can do and what you cannot, what you're not allowed to do. And then if you get time, understand those security documentation of the AI tools to further develop your understanding of, though this document says to do this and not to do this, this is exactly what's happening in the background, right? And also, whenever you're in doubt, talk to your security divisions, security champions. If you don't know, always ask. There'll be always Teams channels or service desk support or something where you could dial and ask a question before you do it. Right? If you're in doubt, always ask. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All good.
There was a question that I've answered. I don't know if you can see it, Manju. Earlier on, I've already answered.
Yeah, I saw that. I think we have another question for Raj. From Stefan, do you have the BPMN example on your website?
Yeah, I'm working on it. It's pretty complex. First of all, the image generation models to work along with the logic to generate something that's close to what you're expecting. Maintain the standards for drawing those kind of process maps and getting them right. There's a certain level of complexity involved. So yeah, I'm working on it. We'll probably have something soon, but can't promise anything yet. But it's there. It's not very far. Image generation features that have been released last month, I think they work magic. So I've tried drawing few flow charts first, and they're working really good. So I need to develop on the concept and see how far we can get with drawing good more process models.
Thanks, Raj. Stefan also asks, what format does it come out in? And is it editable or just an image?
If you're asking to generate an image, yes, of course, it'll be an image. The spelling mistakes, the typos seem to be going away. So I'm talking about ChatGPT. I don't use ChatGPT at work. I use it for learning. So image generation is better now, I think. So yeah, and therefore, if you want to generate something not image, then there are other tools. I still need to explore them, but there are tools that can actually do vector graphics, I think, but I need to explore.
Thanks, Raj. So Peter has just a suggestion. We can also map the requirements with business processes as is or to be, and then map them in the requirements table. So just
That's right.
something for next.
So, yeah, thank you. Thanks for the suggestion.
Thanks, Peter.
I think Tim has also asked, like, what is the most credible AI certification at the moment?
I've started with Azure AI fundamentals. So go to LinkedIn Learning, look for learning paths. You can set up there are learning paths that are suggested. So learning paths include certification goals. So start with AI fundamentals, I would say, and you could find fundamentals, AI fundamentals, parallel certification in all the major platforms. So starting with fundamentals is always a good place.
In addition to that, also Soffit offers a AI fundamental course as well that you might want to look into as well.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks, Maria. We have from Utsav, have you tried these techniques of creating or improving the user stories or requirements in Gherkin's format, given when then?
Yes, acceptance criteria. If you have heard my talk last year, the FOBA talk has got this particular example where we are doing acceptance criteria generation, but I'll get that into an article as well. Yes, you can provide format. You can start with the requirement and ask to generate user story and then acceptance criteria, or you could start with an acceptance criteria that's ambiguously written, and then you can ask AI to transform it to a standard format. Of course, nothing looks 100% right on the first attempt. You always have to reiterate and then keep prompting until you get the right expected answer.
Thank you, Raj. We have next one from Francisco. The AI agents used, was there any issue to use it in the project you were involved in?
We haven't used AI agents per se yet. I would say that whole space is evolving, and you need to follow this closely to see where this is going, right? So I'm currently at the learning stage. I'm exploring. There are this agent features, the messages, message consumption, where the agents are appearing, how they are made available to the users in the organization. That's the BA side of it. I'm also thinking of projects that have AI agent requirements. So yeah, this is an interesting area. So there's one aspect of AI for BA where BA learns AI. There's other aspect of BA for AI where I've learned something. Now I need to go and take care of my stakeholders because they're going to ask me, I need this AI feature, right? And I need to know, okay, what questions I need to ask them to get these features. I need to explore the tool so that I understand what can be done, what cannot be. For example, okay, there's all these issues. Can we turn off the agents, right? They're going to come and ask us, the BAs, can you actually turn off this agent, right? And we need to know that. That's a requirement, so write it down. And then, so the BA for AI should roll on. I think that's going to be the future for us. Knowing it before so that, knowing it in advance so that we can help with what's coming. That's going to be the new phase of AI-enabled BA.
That's great. Thank you, Raj. We have another one from Taik. The illustration you demonstrated are basically around documentation, where AI can be leveraged for sure. But BA is more about solving business problem, which may not be as simple as that. The AI can solve communication, empathy, problem solving, collaboration will always be the core BA skills, which are going to be more significant as AI takes more lead in the field. But agree that AI can relieve us from the dull repetition task and can spend it on something more human. Yeah.
Right, that's right. One important aspect I want to highlight here. Sometimes some questions come to you for quick answers, right? And sometimes a conversation could help because you have told AI this before, and so in Copilot, actually, there could be a conversation where you have said a set of requirements. So somebody asked, "Is this feature available?" or "How much did it cost?" So you could go and quickly have a conversation, right? So it's not relieving you out of your stress to answer the question, but it's giving you quick information so that you can prepare yourself. You know you have to provide the answer in 2 minutes. Your last year, I couldn't have done that. A year before last, couldn't have done that. But this is a true assistant. It's keeping information on your fingertips. And you can quickly go into a conversation, ask quick questions, but you are the one actually assimilating it, taking that impact statements out of it, and then discussing with your stakeholders. You need to review carefully, you need to think thoroughly about the impacts, and then you discuss with your stakeholders. You are still the pilot, AI is just your assistant.
We don't have any other questions, but guys, feel free to type in. Maybe we'll give like a minute or so for everyone to type in, and I'll pass it on to Hazra after that.
All good. I think we have a comment from Peter. He says AI can improve collaboration if you see it as a true co-pilot. It can provide advice on communication strategies and approaches based on sentiment or follow-up activities from a requirements meeting based on sentiment analysis.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting aspect. So that's really good comment, Peter. Imagine there were survey responses with user sentiments. AI can answer how many people have felt this way and how many people have felt this way about it. So if you can't do sentiment analysis, you could only say, okay, so many numbers by so many category, because you have captured category information in the survey. But for comments, you have given this big long text field, right? And that's where they vented out all their frustration. And so sentiment analysis is the key. That's the solution. And if you have 1 million records with these survey responses sitting in comments, AI is the way to go.
Great point. Helen has another a comment as well. Yes, agree. AI is a great assistant when understanding unfamiliar technologies and even terminology. You can go into conversation informed and ready to listen. Amazing.
I agree, 100%. Yes. And also, if you have observed my slides, all the images were generated using AI. I've used Microsoft Designer. The voiceover assistants are AI, which means you're saving a lot of your time by sliding in voiceover assistant while you're focusing on how to roll the story, right? And by generating good visualizations that go with the context, AI is assisting you with better communication and presentation. All these are essential toolkit for BA. So it's already enhanced all that I had 2 years back. So I was actually putting together good slides. They were not bad slides, but I don't spend that much time on putting together slides anymore because I know the technique, and you could actually use the technique, shrink that time, and you spend some time on researching. You spend time on showcasing it, getting feedback and improving. And that's direct impact on EI. I wanted to highlight that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Raj. There isn't any more questions at the moment, so we'll just see if someone pops in something. Yeah. Oh, Jared just mentioned you mentioned chat. You got Copilot and Designer. Are there any other platforms you recommend for specific applications? And how did you make Zoe? Oh.
Okay. Zoe is a voiceover assistant. So you could go to websites like Artlist, for example, or Revoicer. So check out product trials. And then, yeah, as with any other AI tool, be very careful. Review your terms and conditions before you use their products. Don't upload things that have personal information. Don't put personal identifying information. Always, if you're uploading to actually generate something, write your text really clearly so that you're not revealing anything. And then the output should suit your story as well. So really plan and design that carefully. That's actually true with any tool, right? And any AI tool. So that's for voiceovers and Gemini. So I use Gemini, ChatGPT, and Copilot, all three. Gemini is really good for research, deep research. You could start and look at my article for using AI for learning and development. There's a way to start a conversation and keep it going. You can always come back when you get a light bulb moment, you have a thought, you can come back to the conversation. How about this? How about this? Now run a quick test on this topic. Set a timer in the background. Tell me where I didn't do well. Can you recap these topics for me? Run the test again, right? This is the technique you could use with AI. And with deep research, it's actually pointing itself to all the sources and it's actually training you. So deep research in a trainer mode. Try it out and refer to my article if you want any clues. It works really well. So Gemini, ChatGPT, image generation has been really good. So I've been trying it in my MS Designer and also comparing it with images generated in ChatGPT. They're getting really accurate. You might have seen the Ghibli images and all that. Yes, Notebook LM for podcast generations. And also whatever I've shown you here, you could try in Notebook LM as well. There was an article where when I published last month, readers have tried them in both applications and have confirmed that they're working well. But for but make sure they're authorized by your organizations, right? Don't want to be using unapproved tools in your organization. So use Google at home if you're learning something, but if you're given a tool, a particular AI tool at office, know its constraints, know its boundaries, and try things within the scope of your work. And that's what I would suggest. Responsible AI, read all the documentation on responsible AI, and that'll set your knowledge and boundaries and constraints really well. What version of ChatGPT? I think 4.0. That's the latest I saw last time. There's a new one probably. I don't remember. That's when I tried the flowchart and I could actually ask it, can you please check for typos? And it actually went and redo the whole thing, fixing the typos. So I remember that's 4.0.
Yep, thanks, Raj. Let's see if we have any other questions coming up. Oh, thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Oh, it's good that everybody enjoyed the session.
Yeah.
I must admit, I echo a lot, and ChatGPT has become one of my best friends. I sometimes even used to get some information or even write user stories in there. And I guess I've been lucky enough, my organisation, I'm mindful about security side, but particularly in writing stuff and documents, I find they're very efficient when I lack that writing side of things. I haven't got time. So many different ways you can use so many different AI tools to be more efficient.
Yeah, that's true.
Francisco is asking when is the next session, Maria and Raj? Looking
I have
forward.
to call in them more. We've had all plenty. I was actually rushing through my part thinking, oh, is Raj going to have enough time now that we're in sync?
Yeah, I was
Might
expecting
have
about
to do the image of me next time, Raj. I'd like to see what
yeah.
I just don't want beard, you know.
Yes, Tanya, the recording and the slide we shared first, that will be shared with everyone.
Yeah, if you want the prompts, they're already there on my articles. Medium articles have so the IIBA articles are for quick read, and so you'll see small pages with maximum 3 sentences. That's for quick reading. There's also a prompt you could copy paste into your AI tool. But if you launch the Medium article, you can actually read through their graphics, and there's obviously more space to write. So you could copy the whole prompt, copy it to your AI tool and run it. And if you have any questions, ping me on LinkedIn directly and I'll answer. I can answer almost every evening. So please feel free to ping me.
Yep, I think there's a question from Vanessa for you, Raj. When you are using AI tools for business analysis, have you found some limitations or something really under expectation or room for improvement?
There's always room for improvement if you enhance your prompt. Because AI knows more, it's only how you prompt it to extract it. So if you're not getting what you want out of AI, it means you have to change your prompting. I have learned this after going through so many loops. Sometimes I'm frustrated thinking, oh, AI doesn't know this. But when you stop and restart from a different point, you will get to where you want, because all the time you're just trying in one specific direction. So I'll point you to prompting techniques. So the create prompt you have seen in my my slides. Create prompt is the most comprehensive prompting technique. There are other techniques like RTF, role task format. So look for prompting techniques. Look for 0 shot, 1 shot kind of prompting. Once you equip yourself with this knowledge, it's actually running in the background. When you try, you can pivot at the right time. You'll know when to stop and when to pivot and then try a different way. That's what I would suggest at the moment. I'm not seeing a particular limitation with AI. It's probably a limitation with what I know. So what I usually do, I jump to Babel, refer to a particular technique, come back, equip myself with the kind of prompting sequence, and then I start a conversation. So for example, if you're looking for a particular diagram, you need to have the content for the diagram. Yeah, for example, you're doing a RACI, for example, or if you're doing a power influence matrix. So you need content for it. So you pass the information, you generate the content for different quadrants, then you put it in a PowerPoint slide, right? So if you have to build a sequence for prompting, then refer to Babel somewhere and then come back, prompt, generate the outcome, review, and then put it on a slide. So this is an important part of what's called a BA workflow, what is changing because of AI. Where you used to do attend a meeting, write a requirement, refer to a document, enhance the requirement, go into a meeting, review, come back, pre-draft, sign off. That workflow is all changing because of AI. So you gather source documents, you have your analysis ready, you get into some kind of prompting, generate outputs, compile them, review with stakeholders, come back, loop. So there are certain BA workflows that are coming up. That's one of my topics as well for future.
Cool. Thanks, Raj. Peter says an idea for Microsoft users: put your good prompts into a Microsoft list. It can then become a good resource.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you'll see already if you search for a particular prompt, it's already there. There's been enough data on the internet on prompting techniques and examples. So you could always search and get a good prompt for anything. I've learned one way to generate a prompt. It is to ask AI directly. But you need to be very clear about what you're expecting. So you can say, I'm expecting to get a particular outcome. I'm actually trying to draft something. Think like a project manager and draft a business case with so and so topics. So give me an outline first, and let's discuss then step by step, right? Some people give a full prompt first and expect an immediate answer. They look at the output and think, this is not good. But if you say, I'm expecting this, let's discuss. Let's take it step by step. And so you get into a conversation, build it up. At the end, you say, replay this for me. And then, okay, can you change that? Can you change that? How about this? So go into that. And then at the end, you have this. But after you finish all that, after you have your output, then say, can you compile this, all this into a good prompt? And you will see AI generating a nice prompt for you. Take it and save it and use it, share it, and then build knowledge. The last step is the differentiator. I don't see most articles actually publishing it, but that's something I've learned by experience.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, we don't have this one from Vanessa. Yeah, there are many people who are sharing good prompts, good keywords for specific purpose and outputs for AI tools like Mid-Journey. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions? Yep. Thanks, Ali.
Thank you.
Yep. So if we don't get any more questions, we can wrap up.
Definitely. I think we're allowed, because we didn't know the magnitude of on this hot topic the questions might be, and also, you know, with the demo and keeping in mind. So it's always good to allow enough time, not, you know, if we don't have enough time, so people are left and we're answering questions later. So that's what generally happened. But we did allow a good amount of time. So if everybody's happy, we'll close the night.
Yep.
Perfect.
No more questions.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Raj. You've been fantastic.
Thank you.
For being our
Yeah.
guest speaker.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Maria. Thank you,
Watching
Raj.
you
Thank
and
you.
following you. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thanks all.
Take
Thanks,
care. Have a
Azra
good
and
night.
Manju.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.